New this morning, the World Health Organization is updating its guidance on the COVID vaccine in pregnant women after a statement earlier this week led many to believe that the agency was advising against pregnant women getting vaccinated. In this new statement, the agency now says in part, "We don't have any specific reason to believe there will be specific risks that would outweigh the benefits of vaccination for pregnant women. For this reason, those pregnant women at high risk of exposure to SARS-CoV-2, like healthcare workers, or who have comorbidities which add to their risk of severe disease, may be vaccinated." Now, right now in Missouri, pregnant women are in that higher priority category for the COVID vaccine. They're in phase 1B, tier 2, right along with those 65 and older and adults with severe illnesses. But with all this back and forth, there is a lot of confusion. And now St. Louis area doctors are trying to bust some myths about the COVID-19 vaccine and any issues with fertility. I recently spoke with Dr. Kenan Omertag, a fertility and reproductive medicine specialist at Washington University and BJC Healthcare, about this issue.
What would you say is the biggest myth that you are hearing?
Okay, so I think the biggest myth with COVID-19 vaccination is this rumor about it causing infertility. There was this idea posed that the spike protein that the vaccine builds immunity to looks similar to a placental protein. So the myth comes from the idea that, oh, if they look similar enough, the body won't be able to tell the difference and will mount an immune response, not only against the spike protein to protect you against, a COVID infection, but it will also build an immune response against the placenta. And that is not true, because while the two proteins are similar, they are not similar enough to trick the body into making an immune response against the placenta. It would be like saying there's a bear in the room and there's an elephant in the room, and they're both wearing red collars, and you can't tell the difference between the two animals because their collars are the same. That's stupid.
So would you say the same about the risk for miscarrying?
So this then comes up is, well, is this going to cause miscarriage? And the answer so far, what the indications are, no. Getting vaccinated will not increase your risk of miscarriage.
Can you share what you're comfortable sharing as far as your own family's experience?
Yeah. My wife and I, we had a COVID pregnancy. So we were pregnant throughout the pandemic and had all the anxiety that goes with it. And then, my wife is a physician. She was offered vaccination while she was lactating, and she had no hesitation. Her biggest thing was to make sure that she had immunity that she could then pass, could hopefully pass on. I think we're still learning what the immunicity is from mother to baby, but the thought was, if I can build immunity and have antibodies in my breast milk, then I can pass that on to our child.
We've only talked about half of the equation of getting pregnant, and the other half is male fertility.
Yeah.
Any concerns for men who are going to get the vaccine and are hoping to have a family?
There were some initial reports in March about the way the virus actually works is it can work on basically a chemical pathway that could affect sperm function, but that has not really come to snuff, if you will. So at this point, there is no reason to believe that COVID infection, let alone vaccination, impairs spermatogenesis and would impact male fertility.
Now, it's important to note this conversation was based only on the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which are both based on mRNA technology. Dr. Omertag says these conversations will have to be reassessed for future vaccines that have a different makeup. And it's also important to note that neither the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines were studied in pregnant women, which is often the case for clinical trials. However, he did say there were some 20 women in each trial that became pregnant while being monitored, which gives health officials some data to base their recommendations on. Dr. Omertag also stresses every individual should make a decision about getting the vaccine with their doctor, who knows their specific health history best.